Welcome to MathLink, where we're going to connect the dots. I am Mr. C, and I'll be covering this particular unit for you. And we're going to talk about angular measures, where we talk about terminology, how to convert decimal degree conversions or into minutes, seconds, and degrees. We're going to go back from decimals to convert it back to minutes, seconds, degrees, minutes, seconds, degrees, into decimals, and just get some basic terminology. So let's get started. So on this slide, we're going to talk about decimal degrees. What do you mean by that? It is generally preferred unit of measurement in the metric calculations. Now, in the United States, it is customarily expressed as an angular measure in the following ways. So as a decimal degree, such as 6.5 degrees and 180 or 108 degrees, 108.274 degrees, we can write the degree sign. So normally you put the degree sign above what we have here. So we'll say 6.5. That is 6.5 degrees, and that's in decimal form. Or again, or 108.274 degrees. Notice you need to put the degree sign so we know we're talking about degrees. And normally in the US, we do that in decimal form in our case. Now, these are two things you need to know and put this in your memory. A degree is divided by 60 equal parts called minutes. And the symbol that we have for minutes is 1 dash, okay? 1 prime. Okay, and so that is what we look at as a minute. When we have 2 dashes or 2 primes, they're seconds. And what we need to realize is that 60 seconds, so 60 seconds equals 1 minute. And so seconds will have the 2. Now, 60 with 1 dash, that's 60 minutes equals 1 degree. So the key number is always 60. So when you deal with angular measures or degrees, you want to make sure that you remember the key numbers, which is 60. 60 seconds equals 1 minute, and 60 minutes equals 1 degree. Okay. Now, let's express degrees, minutes, and seconds as a decimal degrees. So what do you mean, Mr. C? So let me give an example. Let's say you have 36 degrees, 18 minutes, and 25 seconds. That is not in decimal degrees as I wrote earlier. That's as degrees, minutes, and seconds. What we're looking at is expressing degrees, minutes, and seconds as a decimal degree. How is that written as a decimal degree? And so these are procedures how we can do this. Divide the seconds by 60. So we start with the seconds divided by 60 to attain the decimal number of minutes. And then you add that to the minute. And then you divide that answer by 60 to attain the decimal degrees. And then add that to your degrees, and that'll be your answer. The key number is 60. Remember, it's always 60, 60, 60. Either we're going to divide or multiply. In this case, we're going to divide, and we're going from degrees, minutes, and seconds to decimal degrees. Let's see if we could look at an example. So here's our example. Let's 135 degrees, 7 minutes, and 39 seconds as a degree or a decimal degree, and we want to round it off to 4 significant digits. So let's do this particular problem. So here's our problem, 139 degrees, 7 minutes, and 39 seconds. We want to express it as a decimal degrees. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the 39. So number one, we're going to start with the 39 divided by 60. Again, our key number is 60. Start with the seconds and divide that by 60. And that will give us, in our case, once we do that, a decimal value of 0.65, which is actually be 0.65 minutes. Again, 60 seconds equals 1 minute. And my fault, I should say, in this case, let's look at this particular one. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to add that 0.65 to, so this is 6.5. We're going to add it to the 7, and that'll give us 7.65. In this case, I'm going to put a check. Minutes. Not done. We got to convert that minute into degrees, and then we're going to go forth from there. So our second step is we're going to use 7.65 and divide that by, guess what number? How many minutes make a degree? And that will give us an approximation, or we're going to be looking at 0.1275. Again, you could do the actual division on your own and pause to make sure that is correct. Now that number, again, since we already converted by and divided by 60, will be degrees. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add that decimal value to our degree value. Now our degree is 135 on the top, and we just add 0.1275 and then put degrees, and that's our answer. So that's how you convert degrees, minutes, and seconds into degrees of decimal degrees. And in this case, is 135.1275 degrees. That's the same thing as what we have when we originally started in degrees, minutes, and seconds. So the key is always dividing by 60. Start with the seconds and then add that to your minutes. Divide that number by 60. That gives you your degrees. And then you just add that to your degree. In our case, it's 135. And that's how we convert. Now we're going to go a different route. Let's express decimal degrees as degrees, minutes, and seconds. So we're going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to give you a decimal degree, and you're going to give me the answer in degree, minutes, and second. And how we do that is we multiply the decimal part by 60. Again, our key number is 60, and we multiply. Then what we do, we then if the number of the minutes obtained is a whole number, we multiply the decimal part by 60, that minutes by 60 to obtain the seconds. And then we just combine it all together to get degrees, minutes, and seconds. So let's look at an example of what I'm talking about. So here's our example. Let's express 28.2736, which is a degree. Let's change that to degrees, minutes, and seconds. So here's our problem. Hopefully I wrote the right number, 28.2736 degrees. That's decimal degrees. Now we can convert it as degrees, minutes, and seconds. And so what our procedure is saying is we're going to multiply. So step one, we're going to write down 0.2736. Because of 28, the number 28 is okay. We know that's 28 degrees. We want to work with the decimal piece. 0.2736, we're going to multiply that by 60. In this case, we're going to multiply by favorite number, which is 60, which gives us around 16.578, in this case, minutes. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put this in black. We have 28 degrees on the top. Now we have 16 minutes. We don't need to worry about the number. That whole number is our. Now this remaining piece of the decimal, so this will be our step 2, will give us our seconds. So you're going to write down 0.578 and multiply that by what number? That's right, 60. And that would give us about 34.68 seconds. Now, there's 34.68 seconds. So let's round that. Since we're done with our seconds, we'll say we round this to 35 seconds. We don't have to worry about the 0.68. We're not going to need lower than seconds. So when we write the final answer, it's going to be 28 degrees, which we have on the top. We take the whole numbers. Again, we're taking the whole numbers, 16 minutes, and we could say 34, but since it's 34.6, let's say 35. You always want to use the correct rounding. And since that 6 is greater than 5, we want to make that 4 here a 5. And then that will be our answer. 28 degrees, 16 minutes, 35 seconds. So all you do is multiply the decimal piece by 60, only take the whole number, multiply the next decimal piece by 60, and round up or correctly so you have the right seconds. So hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, again, review this video again, and also look at some of the supplementary materials we have on our MathLink website. Yeah, let MathLink bring it together. And again, thank you for watching this video.